Hello there! Today I want to try doing something different in this video. It's gonna be one of those pure opinion-based type of videos that are definitely going to have people disagree with me, so bear with me. I am very hard to impress most of the time, and I hope every one of you would understand. And today I will be ranking the pistols in this tier list, placing my brutal honesty into these underrated weapons that not a lot of people use. By the way, as of recording this, there was a new update for the primal set and the new hero recently, so this list has to be like the latest with the primal pistol available in the event store right here, which I'm showing right now on the screen. The primal pistol is available as an epic rarity for the rest of the blasted Badlands season, so pick that one up while you can and try it now. Don't forget to check that video out too. I took my time reviewing that weapon, but for now let's look at the rest of the pistols. We have the bald eagle at first, very good single target and high base damage, but in certain situations like dealing with crowds, it's not the best in that case. Not even any of its fixers can save it, so I'll have this on B tier. The same thing applies with the basilisk, but not as much base damage. Its shielding 6 perks could be good either way, but still remains B tier for me. Bolt might make itself look like junk and goes straight to D tier, but to be fair, it does seem to be an alright pistol. I didn't bother upgrading the schematic of it, but I somewhat tried it during a venture grind and it didn't do bad at all, even with bad perks. So I'll probably put a little higher just to show a little bit of light. The Coco 45, this pistol is absolutely an insane smasher killer. The projectiles you shoot with it bounces, so it makes it really good for trap tunnels, or you can consider it a handheld trap tunnel. I made a video about it a long time ago, and it's definitely up there after how great it performed. The only downfall from the S tier is that you have to rely so much at shorter ranges or within walls to make it very effective with its bouncing projectiles. The Dragon's Breath, as most of you know, didn't perform generally well to me. The base damage really pulled this pistol way down, so it's pretty unfortunate. Now I have the same feeling with both the duelist and the falcon on B tier. Another great single target pistols performs the same way as the bald eagle. And here is the Freedom's Herald. This pistol does have an explosive rounds on impact, making it able to have like a pretty high base damage, and it uses shotgun shells instead of the usual medium or light ammo. The thing is, it won't be able to shoot very far like the other pistols, but the closer you are with this thing, you deal a good amount of damage on high health monsters and groups of it too. The Freedom's Herald is likely the cousin of the tiny instrument of death, one of the worst weapons for console players to use, but not for me. It uses energy cells and shoots an explosive projectile that you can actually guide around with your crosshairs. A bit higher damage too, but it applies the same way with the Freedom's Herald. The Ghost Pistol, I actually like this one by the way. It can go through anything, the husks and structures, but it's not like the Xenon bow that can have an insane range. It does have slow projectiles when shooting it, but at least the damage is there, so it's not really a bad weapon overall. I'll just have it on B tier to be fair with it. The Ginger Blaster, another holiday pistol weapon. It really is good despite its appearance. Although it is locked to physical element, it has the option to have triple crit damage as a build, and it has a decent double headshot multiplier. It can nearly bring a smasher down by one shot, either by hitting hard with crits or headshotting it. It would have been another crazy pistol if not for its locked element, so it'll stay next to the Coco 45. The Haywire Storm also astonished me when I used the Affliction build on it. Very good for almost any situation, both single target and crowd clearing, only if you're at least good at aiming. It's obviously not some sort of a demolisher of monsters that instantly kills, but it is a really fun weapon to use. I would honestly say the same to the Jackal, the Turncost, where is it? It's right here, and the Whisper 45, because they also do the same way, so they'll all be in the same A tier. Truly a great set of pistols, and I highly recommend them. The Hot Mix is a pretty amazing pistol if you haven't tried it already. It's like a pocket shotgun that shoots a pulse of sound that pierces through husks, including mist monsters. There's also a unique 6 perk on it that can apply fire affliction when you hit an enemy surrounding other enemies. It can be very decent at most times, so it goes straight to A tier. So now here's the Jack's Revenge. Not only this pistol can deal the highest damage out of all the pistols by millions, but it can also break the mythic Storm King's crystals if ran with the right loadout for it. But to be fair with you, a weapon that is able to break crystals goes straight to S tier in my books. Well, of course, not all of it. Don't think the other way around when I said that. This thing can also one-shot power level 250 smashers, hitting hard like a truck. So the Jack's Revenge is by far spectacular. Of course, there are some base game pistols that I have never tried or basically just locked off from being able to upgrade to legendary rarity, so I would presume they may not have the best performance. So like the Nighthawk right here or the Junkyard Pal could probably go down to D tier. The Vigilante could somewhat go to C tier because that one, in my opinion, does well when you're progressing the story questline as a new player, but for the most part it may not do well around the mid-game. And let's not forget about the Judge. It is also on C tier. To be honest with you, the Krypton pistol is not bad at all. It may be a little expensive and locked to energy element, but it doesn't seem like a filler weapon at all. The base damage and fire rate are quite good, to be honest, so it performs kind of well on the B tier. The Piston Spitter. Someone told me this thing can be good. Well, at least good for knocking back husks, because hydraulic weapons are known for having very high impact and not damage output themselves. I'll have to put this on D tier. It is not a kind of weapon that can actually kill things. It's more of like a situational weapon where you wanna just knock husks away for fun. So I don't think it performs best like the others. The Plasmatron 9000, definitely S tier because it acts like a high DPS submachine gun that you can continuously shoot until it overheats. And with the 6 perk that scatters rings of projectiles after several hits, makes this weapon amazing for clearing encampments and crowds during defenses, or even great with defenders. I would also say the same way with the Storm King's Onslaught, but the 6 perk gets better. The projectiles from the Onslaught most of the time go towards enemies' heads. When aiming down sights, the range increases significantly, making a great damage value with its headshot multiplier. I have this supercharged and tried it out with a crackshot build, and basically you're a trap tunnel at that point. So I did a video about it and Smashers didn't even have a chance to give me a hug. It just goes straight on top with the Plasmatron. And here's the new weapon I talked about at the beginning, the Primal Pistol. It is a one-handed 2-round burst pistol. It can deal tremendous damage on mist monsters. It does have a very good base damage for a pistol, but in most cases, it doesn't work very well with groups of husks. And not even its 6 perks are gonna save it from going above B tier. The Last Word, one of the Wild West weapon set, a 6-shooter that does best with the Booba Calamity Lady build. I honestly find it fun to use in high power level missions, especially with the headshot explosion 6 perk, making it pretty good for a single target. It almost performs normally like the other base game pistols, so it goes on to B tier. At least it has a higher fire rate, but it's a revolver with 6 rounds anyway. The Space Invader is somewhat the same type of weapon as the Coca 45. Projectiles bounce towards walls, pierces through enemies as well, but what makes it all the way down to C tier is because it is locked to energy element, less options for perking, and the rounds, in my perspective, runs out a little too quick than the projectiles from the Coca 45, losing a lot of DPS in the end. And it's expensive too for using energy cells, so yeah. The Steamroller, amazing pistol by the way. That Cloud of Steam 6 perk also makes this pistol even better for area of effect damage, crazy good for killing hordes of enemies including mist monsters. I will have to say the same thing applies to the Paper Shredder. but not with the 6th perk. It's also another pistol that uses shotgun shells like the Freedom's Herald, but a better version. The explosion radius is a little bigger, also one of the highest base damage pistols in the game, next to the Jack's Revenge. The only reason why it couldn't get to S tier because of its inaccuracy when shooting it. I even forgot to say the Cyclops also deal good damage against single targets like the other heavy bullet pistols, but very low fire rate as well. So it goes the same way with not being able to handle crowded husks by itself, so it goes for B tier. The mouthpiece is also another great single target pistol, although not as strong as the Cyclops in terms of base damage. Very good especially for elementals, but for the most part, mist monsters like blasters or takers are usually physical, so it's a little limited on its elements, but it goes on B tier at least. The vacuum tube revolver is great, by the way. The chain lightning in this one really made this weapon be able to actually deal a good amount of area of effect damage, pretty deserving a spot on A tier, despite its nature locked element. Very strong for clearing a lot of water husks, also very high damage. Without it, it can also be a great single target weapon for both headshot build or pure crit mist monster killer, whatever you can think of making a build out of it. So the two vindertech pistols, which is the blaster and the burster. I'll start with the blaster one because it is pretty expensive in my opinion. Very slow fire rate and a lot of damage fall off. Like if you don't crit, for example, or you don't headshot, you're basically donezo. It's kind of like one of those weapons you probably need to just camp on top of your defenses and shoot from a distance for it to be effective, and not great in close combat at all, so tier C fits its place here. The burster, however, as it named itself, is a burst pistol as well. A little worse than the primal pistol. It does shoot a few burst rounds and it's a little accurate, but its base damage is way lower than the blaster and it doesn't do well in most situations, so this pistol goes to D tier. And the last pistol for this is the Zapp. Believe it or not, this is hilariously a good weapon. Its projectiles actually explode on impact and can deal tons of damage. Very effective in crowd clearing, but not for single targets, which pulled this pistol down to B tier, because you need to charge up a little at the beginning, but overall it is a funny weapon, and the fact that everyone thinks it's junk, but when I tried it, it's actually not that bad at all. And there you go. Here's my pistol tier list if anyone's that curious about what I think of certain weapon category. I'll think about doing more tier lists like this because it's scriptless and I don't have to overwork myself from writing so much repeated details when I have a couple videos already recorded. So I'll link the existing ones in the description that correlates with any pistols in this tier list. So yeah, I'll also link the template if you are interested in making your own pistol tier list from this, because this one is the latest that I found with the primal stuff going on, so feel free to grab it. Anyways, that should be all for this tier list video. Make sure to subscribe to look out for more of these types of videos. Take it easy, take care of yourself, and love yourself.